everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XVI. This is episode 7. Last time, we encountered Garuda in the Eye of the Storm, and we witnessed for the first time in 13 years Ifrit once more, and confirmation that Clive is dominant. So that was very exciting to get that story content, and then also witness Sid transforming into the full version of Ramu as well, which was just so cool to see. We fought another Dragoon, Jill's woken up, Shiva's dominant, we've got the whole party, the crew is together. Sid's currently in Rosaria, and we're going to journey there as well. So we're going via the 3 reeds first, and then we'll hopefully meet up with Sid. So let's have a chat to Gav and Taya before we leave, and then we will see what lies ahead of us.
Jill's only just risen from her sickbed, remember? She needs looking after.
Thought you were on your way to Phoenix Gate. Don't tell me you got cold feet.
There you go. Just wanted to check what they had to say before we left. Now we leave. So we've gotten a little glimpse at Jill's abilities in combat because we did a little bit of a side quest, and then hopefully we'll be able to maybe harness that power ourselves. I would be very interested in seeing what that would be like. So the 3 reeds. Rising waters transformed once fertile farmland into a noisome morass, rendering it nigh uninhabitable to all but leeches and lizards. Perfect, so let's go conquer these lands.
Rosaria. It's been 13 years.
But this breeze, the smell of the grass, it's just as I remember it.
You haven't been back either.
I couldn't. Bran did keep a close watch on each other in the Imperial Army. You'd get beheaded just for knowing a deserter. The only way out was on a mission.
I see.
But mostly I was afraid. Afraid to go back.
I know.
But I'm here now. Thanks to you.
Nice, the Imperial Province of Rosaria. Homecoming. Nice. 3 reeds. Obelisk activated. A nation occupying the western reaches of the continent of Storm with Rosalith as its capital. When the duchy was left leaderless in the aftermath of the attack on Phoenix Gate in the year 860, the Ironblood seized the opportunity to attack the capital. Their campaign did not last long, however, as the Holy Empire of Sandbreak soon returned in full force to stake its own claim, leaving the once proud duchy no choice but to submit and become an imperial vassal state. So we're going to definitely be rocking up to people being like, okay, there's a deserter, and the Ironblood's dominant. Cool. And I wonder if we're going to get any more dragoons. That would be exciting.
The hill must be Martha's Rest. Gav said the landlady's a friend.
But can we say the same for her patrons?
Imperials don't tend to take well to those with my mark. If anyone asks, I'm a branded soldier, sworn to protect my noble mistress.
Except for the Imperial gear that we're wearing. The Trans-Rosarian Aqueduct. What a bird wants. Okay. Cool. Looks like we're getting some more of an open area, which is nice. Let's take a look around. The Curltail Falls. Will there be quirls there, though?
Look at the fuse on this one. Explains why there's a premium on Imperials. Maybe I should up your rations, build you up a bit. Bet you'd love another bowl of Martha's Best, wouldn't you?
Damn, that's brutal. Ooh, hello. Look at this big fella. Look at this big fella. Big horn. The big horn. Oh my god.
Not this time.
Deadly Leap is crazy. So I think you do Deadly Leap when Deadly Embrace won't, like, pull an enemy down, and you just do this instead. And you can just keep going higher and higher and higher. This is one big horn. He lives up to his name, that's for sure. Oh no, there we go. That works. For some reason, I wonder what the difference is between that Deadly Embrace and the just spinning in the air move. I haven't really figured that out yet. Fucking bull. Oh. Hey, hey, hey. There you go. It's like I'm not sure what that is.
Not this time.
Oh god, we got scorpions. I guess when we're not able to do the Deadly Embrace, it's just something else instead. Nice. Oh, got some new enemies. Enemies here too. Plant life. Yep. Death Blossom. We got some more variants. Adding more to the bestiary, as usual, sir. This is cool. So we're in sort of, and this, I don't mind this. We've got like quite a linear sort of path through the story, and then we do enter some areas that do open up quite a little bit, but not in like a way that's super overwhelming. Like it's not like here's a million things to do and you'll never get through areas. I think it's a good balance, and I think games need to accept that that's okay. Like a lot of people feel like this weird, it seems like there's this weird pressure sometimes to be like, it must be open world, go anywhere, see that mountain, you can go there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having big open areas, but being more of a linear based experience at all. Crayclaw. Because then you end up with like Final Fantasy 15, which did have stuff that was open, but it did also have just a lot of nothing. Let us go for a swim, you cowards. Let us dive into the water. Nice. I like that they've got passive wildlife as well. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon? They didn't like me calling them passive. They're like, the fuck you say to me? We can fight, actually. We can fight a lot. Alright. Goddamn. Don't talk shit about the antelopes, they'll fight back. Oh, this is like a boss arena. Okay, maybe not a boss arena, but an ambush. Alright, where's the mother? Where's the big Cray Claw?
It's over.
Where's the big one then? Could be one of the first big open areas you enter where there isn't a huge boss enemy to fight. Alright then, I'll take your word for it. It seems like a big waste of an area. These birds do not care, by the way. These birds did not care. How did they not fly away? Alright, game. You win this round. Actually, so this area is called the Kuerl Tail Falls, and there's no Kuerls here. Okay. They gave it the wrong name.
They never finished building the bridge then.
After what happened at Phoenix Gate, it didn't seem the highest priority.
Oh, we got some goblins and some gigantes. Got a big boy.
Goblins.
We got a gigas.
Get them all, don't let them get away. Not this time. Too slow.
I love this move, the fact that you can get so many, like, I fucked it up. I like that you can, like, just continuously dodge and counter. That's sick.
Distance, boy.
Oh, what? Imagine fucking up every swing. Couldn't be me. Damn.
Don't let them get away.
Got him. Big boy down. Briar clam shells. They need to have your character engage in the super fast sprint earlier, I think, because you're allowed to like jog for a while before it breaks out into the super sprint.
Oi! Stop and give me an hand. Here, you couldn't give me an hand, could you? Typical. A bloody bearer. Just when I thought my luck had changed. Still, better a crumb of crystal than an empty hand, I suppose. Though it pains me to use another man's branded. Here, you understand me, don't you? I need your help.
I'm not stupid, mate.
Birds must have caught a whiff of my cargo, and now they've got me surrounded. And as very late as it was. I've got something special needs delivering before the rest, but I dare not leave my cart untended. You couldn't run it up to Martha's Rest for me, could you? Needs to get there quick, mind.
I may as well. I'm heading over there.
Fine.
Imagine if I said no.
That's the spirit. All right. Here. You hand that to the stable master and no one else. I'm owed a little something for it. If he gives it to you, pass it along to your master by way of thanks. Be off with you then, and don't go taking any detours on the way.
I love that he's like, this is the most important thing that you could ever do. This is the most important thing you could ever do, by the way.
You hand that package I gave you to the stable master at Martha's Rest, and be sure to thank your owner for me.
My owner, yeah. Hello. The life of being branded. I love chocobos, dude. Such an instantly iconic creature. It's hard to call them, like, because it, you know, in recent years you play voiced Final Fantasy games and you get them saying chocobos, and I'm like, I never got it out of my head that they were not called chocobos. I always wanted to, you know, I always say chocobos. It's the problem of like growing up with the earlier Final Fantasy games that were not voiced, and you like read the words and you come up with your own names or pronunciations. Then you're like, wait a minute, why are you pronouncing it that way? It's wrong. That's kind of that's where I'm at. Killer bees. They're like, the hornets were not enough. We also need killer bees. And apparently they get along because they're in the same arrangement together. This time I know that you guys are evil. I love that they did run away, but I'm like, no! I now have waged war on antelope kind. Oh, nice. The freeze effect is cool. All antelopes must suffer and die. Oh, there's another bighorn. I want to take on a beastman for Minotaur crafting items, so I can make my Gaia's blade stronger. Where are we? Yeah. Let's take on another goddamn bighorn. I think what's really interesting with like the Phoenix shift and the ability to close the gap and kind of have that quick sort of almost teleportation element to combat is sort of like building and improving on Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis being able to like do the link strike. I think it was called link strikes. Can't remember what the name of it was, where he was able to kind of warp strike. That's the one. Like he could just literally like warp to locations. It seems like very similar to that.
Keep your distance, boy.
I think there must be a very like specific period where you need to use the Deadly Embrace, like maybe as soon as it hits 50%. Otherwise it doesn't work.
Not this time. Give them all you've got, boy.
Yeah, as soon as you use it at 50%, it's much more likely to actually take place.
Don't let them get away. Too slow.
Oh, that's cool. You can dodge multiple times during this attack. Nice. That's awesome. The combos and what you're able to string together in this is just so goddamn satisfying. Oh my lord. And then we go straight back to the calm, peaceful music of the overworld.
Here we are. Martha's Rest.
You got some Imperials. I'm gonna take a look around before we go to Martha's Rest, though.
Mistakes.
Oh, we got bandits in here.
Down if you want to live.
Oh, damn. You can go and just take on some footpads, mate. Nice. Killing some bandits, mate. Light work. I have a feeling if we go to Martha's Rest, we're probably going to be asked to travel down this way anyway for potential side quests. We should probably go here. Let's have a chat to these fellas then.
That's one of our branded. Do we take him in?
He's not one of ours. Look, he's with his master.
Ah, okay. So even though we're dressed in that Imperial sort of get-up, because we've got someone of higher status, or what looks to be higher status near us, we are dismissed.
Are you the stable master? I was asked to deliver this to you.
Sealed crate.
This is for me, right enough. Not sure what some bearer's doing bringing it to me, though. Where's that fool of a peddler got to?
He couldn't come himself. His cart's surrounded by wild chocobos.
Huh. Sounds about right. He'll have it full of Gizal greens, no doubt. Crammed with him, if I know him.
Gizal greens?
Chocobos go mad for them, don't they? And if you forget to seal the cart up tight, the smell gets out, and birds come running from miles around. Don't get me wrong. They're a fine investment for a savvy merchant, especially around these parts. But you can't get greedy, as our mutual friend is learning the hard way. Still, I got my wares, and that's all that matters. Be sure to pass your master my regards.
I've always said Geisel greens. I've always said Geisel greens. So it's weird when it's like Geisel greens. I don't know. I already forgot how they said it because my brain is hardwired to say Geisel greens.
We get travelers and merchants aplenty through here. Enough to keep me busy, that's for certain.
I mean, to be completely honest, when I was a kid and couldn't fucking read, I used to say Geisel greens because the S and the H were not together, but I would always be like Geisel greens. So, whatever. We got some more antelopes. We got some fallen ruins. I'm wondering if like these areas that we're exploring will have stuff in them later, like if there's like side quests to pick up, or like when we go to Martha's Rest, for example. I'm also assuming that enemies refresh as well if you leave an area and come back. Long gone are the days of random encounters. There's another bighorn down there. Wish I could turn off motion blur, because motion blur is kind of annoying. It's weird how motion blur is such like a universal feature that they love to include, but I'm like, guys, it just is not good for the eyeballs. Not good for the eyeballs. I could do without it.
You barely have to step out your front door these days before you're set upon by beasts or bandits. So much for the Holy Empire bringing us a new age of enlightened order. The place has gone to the dogs.
Is as friendly as Gav claims.
Let's go and find out, shall we?
Which stuff was for the Golden Stables again?
Love that you can see like chocobos and stuff like all the way out in the distance there. Some pretty good draw distance.
When he goes to Eastpool, leave him in the pile. We'll take him over when the bridge is back up.
When's that gonna be?
Here, has this thing always been glowing?
Has this thing always been glowing then? Ah, the OG Black Mage Scarecrow. Vivi. Oh man.
There's one missing.
That's cool. Not the chicken that's missing. Someone's kicked it over the bridge, they have.
So much for all parts of the Empire being equal, if that's all the crystal they give us.
And it's not like any of us lowborn can afford a bearer anymore.
Forevermore Orchestran Roll. Nice. I'm assuming that's the music that's playing at the moment. Which is very nice.
The bridge will be fixed when it's fixed, alright?
But I was supposed to be in Eastpool yesterday.
Does this man even know what he's doing?
The bridge is down. If you're heading for Eastpool, you'll have to wait.
I assume that's another airship type deal. It's a giant goddamn rocket, though, or a spire. That'll be interesting to check out.
If it weren't for that mark, I'd be on you like a rash.
Interesting. Okay, branded and not allowed at the brothel. Alright. Goddamn. Understood. Goblin coin.
You ain't pulled that sword from its scabbard in days.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, come inside.
I'll be happy to show you how well I wield my blade after my shift's over.
Subtle.
Make sure you're aiming that at the fish there, son. Keep them nice and fresh.
Don't ice your nutsack.
Anything catch your eye?
Yeah, alright, we got stuff that we can buy here. Oh, you can buy meteorites and valley matters. Nice. The Founder's Footsteps Orchestran Roll. I'm gonna buy these because I need to.
Thanks very much. There you
We don't even get a discount on these things back home
Much
at the
obliged.
hideaway. Goddamn. Unbelievable. Goblin coin. Economists are wont to argue that currency-based commerce is a cornerstone of civilization. If true, this coin would suggest that goblins are far more civilized than humankind gives them credit for, or perhaps that humankind is rather less civilized than we presume.
I wanted one of those.
Nice. Black blood sells for a decent amount.
Everything. A fair trade. Very well.
I don't have to go back to the hideaway to stock up then. Lot of green here.
Been doing healthy trade with the folk from the monastery of late.
Funny how Griga's servants always seem to have full purses.
Fresh cuts. Get your fresh cuts here.
Trader and trinkets. And this is the bridge that is currently up. Nothing we can do about that yet. We'll just like put it down. Can we actually? Oh, this is a lift. Oh. I thought this was that bridge that was up. That must be somewhere else. Nice, okay. I love that we're just completely. Oh, there's a fucking different colored chocobo. Oh, they actually have them in this game. Whoa! A green and blue. In Final Fantasy VII, The green one is the mountain chocobo and the blue one is the river chocobo, I think. Or vice versa. That's so cool. Oh, it's just called a... Okay, it's called a bluebird. That's awesome. Oh, I'm assuming that if we had Geisel greens... So geese... Fucking... I'm gonna call it Geisel greens. Alright? I decline the official pronunciation. Maybe we'd be able to capture chocobos and ride them. We got crab enemies out in the wild, as well as our scorpion enemies. And they come out of little marshland areas. Goddamn Elden Ring. It's pervaded everywhere. Where's the giant enemy crab? I thought it's like, go to Martha's place, and we're just like, no. I'm walking around. I'm exploring. Oops. Well done, team. I probably should check out Martha's, but this is just too tempting. Obviously, we're limited by how much we can travel, as usual. There's a bridge that's up. Let's kill one of these megalo crabs. Nice. Oh, I've got enough ability points to finally get that Phoenix ability now. Flames of Rebirth, and then we can master it for another 2,300. God damn. Alright. How do we do this ability? I guess I have to equip it in here? Right? Yeah. Okay, so it just becomes one of these. Instead of Scarlet Cyclone, I might do Flames of Rebirth because it looks like it does a similar thing. Oh, kind of. Alright, Flames of Rebirth. This is an expensive one. It also gives us some HP upon use. Let's try it. I don't want to take on the Bluebird because I want it to live. But that's the one that's the enemy. Oh, Wild Chocobo. There we go. Damn. Collateral Flames. Alright, it did not... Alright, never mind. We're taking on all of them. It didn't heal... I guess it's only, like, damage that I've taken in the fight. Damn. Alright, so it does not heal health when it's already been taken down. I guess that makes sense. And I'm assuming because this one seems like a much more powerful attack that it will take its sweet time in recharging.
It was good, honest work building the aqueduct.
Well, we had proper leaders, proper trainers.
We should think about pressing on.
All right. Just let me get this down, mate.
Peruse on dressing grease of Geisel, never down roar, lest bitter juices inspire violent retching and loose bowels. Avoid the fry pan, lest foul stink taint the iron, rendering it none better than slag, and by no means put to stew, lest the vapors overexcite stable boss. If suffer the fodder one must, first mix with 9 parts Drake's mint, 6 parts lemon peel, or 3 parts ginger root, and soak in honeyed wine for a quarter moon to lessen malodor. Okay. Martha's Brooks, no sharps. The following cheatery will be repaid with a swift boot to the arse, mucking, stacking, packing, peeking, parming, foisting, and fingering. No fingering in this tavern here, please, lads.
Excuse me. Would you happen to be the landlady?
Depends who's asking, and why they have an Imperial bearer with them.
For protection, which hopefully won't be needed. If you can advise me on the safest route to the west.
It's your friend here I'd be worried about. Bearers don't have an easy time of it in Rosaria. Even a Stratton lad like him might attract the wrong kind of attention. And if he gets nabbed, it ain't likely to end well for you either.
Then we'll just have to stay out of the malicious way. Gav said you might be able to help us.
Follow me.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Sorry for before. Can't be too wary of strangers asking questions in our game. I'm Martha, an old friend of Sid's. He said he had high hopes for a bearer who joined recently. I expect that's you. So, where is it you're headed?
For Phoenix Gate. We have questions that need answering.
Is that so? Well, if you want to avoid the garrison, the road through Eastpool's your best bet. Or it would be, if the bridge hadn't collapsed. A right bloomin' nuisance it is. We've had no trade with the village for weeks. I did ask our carpenter to take a look at it. But he went out on another job, and he hasn't come back.
Do you think something might have happened to him?
Fingers crossed he's just taking his time. The alternative don't bear thinking about.
We'll find him. And make sure he's safe. We both need that bridge repaired. Your carpenter sounds like the man to do it.
I see why Sid's got such a soft spot for you. If you could, I'd be in your debt.
You said that he went out on a job?
Right. He went down into the marshes to check on another bridge. The one by the Fallen Gate.
The marshes were dangerous at the best of times. We should hurry.
There's a ladder to the side of the gate. That's the quickest way down, if you've a head for heights. His name is Bernard. Should you find him well, tell him Martha sent you, and that he's wanted at the bridge to Eastpool.
Bernard. His name's Bernard.
To the marshes, then. Let's find that ladder.
Right. Yep, we're going down that way anyway. It's a good thing that I decided, we'll just hold off, because we'll probably be forced to go to that area. Yes, we will.
I don't know what Bernard was playing at, going into the marshes alone. If he's ended up in a crab's belly, it's his own stupid fault. The ladder by the gate will get you there quickest, if it's not already too late.
Let's find out then, lads. How did you... Okay. My companions have the ability to teleport.
I don't care what your orders are, Brandon. You keep that sword in its sheath.
Alright, ready? I need to see the instant transmission of these characters that make it down to the bottom. When does it kick in? Like as soon as I hit the ground? It must be as soon as I hit the ground.
Get away from me!
What was that?
It came from under the bridge. Come on.
Oh, hang on. Where are they? You still up there? They haven't come in. Interesting. Are they still up there? They instantly came down the ladder before. They're still up there. Okay, hang on. When do they start to appear? Keep your eye on the ladder. Ready? Over here. Oh! I've fallen. Ah, and there you are. Yeah, they just tell if you just look away, they're like, yeah, we just jumped down. I did not expect to be able to fall off. You're used to like invisible walls. Hello. You look like you're in need of assistance.
That's enough.
Gotcha. Enemy slain.
Thank you, my lady. You saved my life.
Not at all. You're Bernard the carpenter, yes?
I am. I didn't realize my name was known so widely.
I'm a friend of Martha's. She asked us to come and find you.
Well, I'm very grateful for it. I just finished checking these piles when I turn around. I see a gang of slavering monsters looking to feast on my flesh. If you hadn't come when you did, I'd have been snipped into strips by now.
We're just glad you're safe.
Why, I best go and give my regards to the landlady then, eh?
Actually, she asked that if we found you, we should beg you make haste to repair the bridge to Eastpool.
Of course. I said I'd take a look at it, but it clean slipped my mind. I'll head up there straight away.
Let's get that there bridge repaired then. Hurry up. He's gonna ask for my help. He's gonna ask for my help. Ready? He's gonna go and fetch me some wood.
I'll have it done in no time.
Thank you, Bernard.
Nice.
We were hoping to take the road to Eastpool ourselves.
I don't have to fetch wood side quest.
And sorry for asking this of you after what you've been through.
I owe you my life. Fixing a bridge is the least I can do. Thank you, my lady. And you too, son. You're with Sid, ain't ya? Me and him, we go way back. Not as far as Martha, mind, but far enough.
I see.
Well, I best get cracking then. You go and let Martha know I'm all right, and she'll have her bridge back soon enough.
We will.
We've avoided the predictable, hey lad, wanna help me fix this bridge, do you? All I need is some timber.
Don't worry, I've had a lot of practice fixing these things. Timber doesn't last too long in these marshes.
The bridge will be fixed when it's fixed.
The bridge will be fixed.
I hear the levitt.
When it's fixed, lad.
Do you like that? Oh, there's plenty more of that. It was good, honest.
Ah, you're back. What happened? Did you find Bernard?
We did. He's fine, and he'll have the bridge to Eastpool repaired soon.
Well, thank the Founder for that.
It was lucky we found him when we did. The creatures out there are not to be trifled with.
It's the Blight's fault. They'd nothing to eat in the north, so they come down here hunting for food. He can't keep going out alone. I'll have to arrange a guard for him. But anyway, thank you. I don't have a lot to offer in return, but you're welcome to rest here until the repairs are finished.
We'd be delighted.
Building bridges. It's so funny, the speed of like this game sometimes, where we've got like the massive icon fights and like every like crazy action that now as a result, because the game has pushed us to such emotional heights where we've literally been jumping for joy, and then we've gone to a point where we're kind of on like a light stroll and we're helping to build and repair a bridge. And I find that so funny because that is like the RPG, Final Fantasy, etc. experience. We've literally just gone through, just like last episode, I'm like freaking the hell out, and then we're just like, "Aye, lad, help me fix this bridge there, will ya?" So naturally, we're just kind of chilling until the story picks up again at Phoenix Gate. It would probably be ridiculous if it was like it never slowed down, but it's kind of a struggle because you get to something like that with the Garuda boss fight, and then you've got like Odin, Bahamut fighting, and you're like, I just want that all the time. I just want to keep getting more of that, please. I don't want to repair a bridge.
Can I get you a drink or anything while you wait?
Drink a piss, please, lad.
Perhaps. Tastes like swill, but it'll slake a thirst.
No, thank you. I prefer the truth about why there are so few bearers around here.
Yes. There were more of them when we were young. Far more.
Is this the Empire's doing? Have they been sent away?
They have, aye. Either to the Legions or Oriflamme. Seems the miners at Drake's Head are having a hard time keeping up with demand of late, so the bearers make up the shortfall. Time was they used to dole out crystals like sugar plums even down here in the provinces, but not anymore. Nowadays, they'll jump at any excuse to confiscate our bearers so they can be put to work elsewhere. I always knew the Empire treated their branded like shit, but after seeing it with my own eyes, well...
Ah, Thea! Congratulations on the new arrival. And you got the little laddie with you?
It was a bearer. The boy I carried for 9 long moons. A bloody bearer.
Oh, you poor thing. You gave it to the constables then?
Just left it at the garrison, aye. Let them deal with it. Couldn't wait to be rid of the blasted thing. Been wanting it gone since the moment I found out.
Well, it's all dealt with now. So no harm done, eh?
Mum, you weren't my brother, was he?
No. But you'll have one soon enough. You just have to be patient. All right?
All right.
Oi. That's fucked.
Unbelievable, innit? Bearers may have been looked down on back in Archduke Elwin's day, but they were still human beings. Now they've fallen so far, a beggar wouldn't spit on them. Since you're not drinking, do me a favour and take that to the Abbey. There's a darkness at the heart of this world, and I'd have you see it.
And we'll see it at an abbey?
Glademond Abbey, on the shore of Sorrowise Bay. The abbot there is a friend. Tell him Martha sent you, and he'll show you what I mean.
Understood.
Interesting. Okay. Go meet this person, they're a friend. Go meet this person, they're also a friend. And if you go and meet this person, they might also be a friend. We got a leather pouch, a gift from Martha to the abbot of Glademond Abbey. Though its contents are neither heavy nor hard enough to be coin, it would seem they are enough to buy their bearer a glimpse of the darkness at the heart of the world. Interesting. Okay. We make for the abbey. Which is out this way. So that bridge is currently being repaired. And now we can make our way out this way. Bearer's Lot. Right on, dude. Oh my god, is this an Adamantoise? Oh my god, it is! Oh, that's so cool. Yo. Oh. I don't know what I expected. Did not expect Beyblade. Oh, okay. You got to attack it from the front, straight up.
This time.
Amazing. This is so cool. Bring it down.
Garuda, lend me your strength! Don't let them get away.
Love that you can't just attack it on any side.
Don't let them get away.
Damn, I don't even get adamantite. That's so cool though. Just a big dog. Not as big as we've seen them though. We've seen some pretty big adamantoids in other Final Fantasy games. I like to think of the Final Fantasy 12 ones. They're pretty substantial. Didn't get any adamantite. That was cool. It's cool to just see like the Final Fantasy enemies that you know and love, you know?
We're not alone.
You lose.
There's the Abbey. What darkness awaits us within, I wonder?
Let's go and see.
What darkness awaits us in the Abbey? Darkness within darkness awaits you.
Good day to you. I'm afraid the Abbey is not open for public prayer. May Griga go with you?
We came to offer a donation. From Martha.
I see. Then please, follow me.
I don't want to die. Please, Father. Something for the pain. I beg you. The light, it fades. I don't want to die alone.
It's all right. I'm here.
Who are these people?
Martha's bearers. She entrusted them to my care, that I might ease their suffering. To the extent that I can. For the time they have left.
curse has taken them. All of them.
As it does every bearer forced to use their gift. With each draw on the ether, their bodies petrify, till all that remains is stone and pain, and so they are cast aside.
Sheesh.
There is nothing either Martha or I can do to change that, but we can at least strive to make their final hours a little more bearable. Have faith, my son, for you shall rise again and find the happiness denied you in this life.
Thank you, Father.
Oh my god, dude.
I must offer you my own thanks for the medicine you so kindly brought. Now their final moments may be moments of peace.
Dude, the petrification is brutal. So it's a bear's curse.
When next you see Martha, pray tell her that 2 more have succumbed.
Bearer of the curse. Softs don't exist in this universe, apparently.
We should.
No anti-petrification medication.
Thank you for bringing us the physic. Would that we were not so reliant on Martha's kindness. But I fear we would have naught to soothe these bearers' woes without it. Save a prayer to a god that is not their own.
Nice. I love I love entering a room. It's got nothing in it. Like, let's explore in here. Empty. Nothing. Oh, haha! They could have just put that inside the house instead. So that's why they were like, hey, it's closed, because there's literally just a bunch of slowly cursed dying people in here. So, enjoy. That is so brutal. So, bearers just have a miserable existence start to finish. Like, they get used as just magical slaves, and then at the end of it, they're like, okay, enjoy being petrified now because of the strenuous use of the aether. It's crazy. Alright, let's report back to Martha. And we'll see what she has to say.
It's over. Stay down. It's over.
Fresh cuts. Fresh cuts.
Don't be shy!
Make sure you're aiming that at the fish there, son.
Something that's a little bit unfortunate in this game, and I will draw it up to be a minor complaint, is on a dialogue level, the NPCs are very lacking. The ones that you can talk to all have just one line of dialogue, and then every single person that has like roaming dialogue when you walk past them just says that one line like over and over and over again, and it's hugely immersion breaking, and it's just like, yep, you already said that. So it's like every time I will walk past this guy, he'll talk about goods for Eastpool or whatever.
Any goods to Eastpool, leave them in the pile. We'll take them over when the bridge is back.
And then we've got the careful where you aim your fish, and then the fresh cuts, and unfortunately they don't sort of have like maybe like 2 or 3 to cycle through. And I think what kind of lets it down is it's clear from this section of the game that we've just played that we are doing a lot of back and forth, like going back to Martha, going here, going there, and so we are going past these NPCs multiple times, and it feels quite limiting in that regard. I'm not sure if there was a specific reason, probably just to save time or whatever, but you know, getting them to say just some sort of variation of a different line, maybe at least 2 to 3 lines would have been better. I guess it does add up, but still, it's I guess the fact that I know that I can't walk up to these NPCs and like expect them to say something else in this moment. I think the hideaway NPCs have new ones, which is good, but I think everywhere else, at least first impressions wise, if you run through an area in the same section of the game multiple times, you'll just be hearing a lot of the same stuff.
Ah, you're back. Thanks for taking care of that.
The abbot had a message for you. 2 more have succumbed.
I see. Come upstairs. So, now you know, eh?
I've seen plenty of bearers die on the battlefield. But never like that.
And all because they were born different. The powers that be can't take away their gift, so they strip them of their humanity instead. Oh, there's plenty who pity a bearer's plight. But so long as we're content to sit around, weeping for those on whose broken backs we're carried, we ain't gonna change nothing.
And so you lend Sid your strength?
What little of it I have. Use profits from this place to buy the poor buggers.
So when the abbot told us the bearers were yours...
Aye, they're my property, at least by law. Any still fit to work fetch a price beyond my means. All I can do is care for those who are past mending. But it's not all doom and gloom. Bernard's finished fixing that bridge for you. You can carry on to Eastpool now. You got questions that need answering, ain't you? Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you, Martha.
Oh, I almost forgot. Sid and I have other friends in Rosaria. Wear this and they'll know you for one of us.
A seal obtained. The slumbering chocobo.
Know that you will always be welcome here.
Classic, turn around and leave without saying goodbye. You'll always be welcome.
You were right, Sid. It really is them. Lord Rosfield and Lady Warwick have come back to us. And long may they stay.
Nice. I'm here to reclaim Rosaria. There he is. With Goots.
Ah, Clive. You know where I left you?
Oh.
Your hand.
I did, aye. With 1,000 little lightning bolts. Can't fling them around the way I used to. Think of it as My decoration for long service and exemplary misconduct.
Ha, that is a really neat detail. He's using the crystal now instead of his own powers to not exert himself.
But you didn't come here to compare war wounds.
We didn't.
Thank you, Sid. For everything.
If you want to leave, that's your lookout. I'm sure you'll have a long and happy life together if you stay out of my way.
Sid!
Oh. I knew a girl, back in the day. She was a slave to her fate, just like you. I wanted to save her. For a while, I even thought I could. But just because you think something doesn't make it true.
Sid.
I'm no savior. Just a conceited old fool. I talk about people forging their own futures. But instead of handing them the hammer, I beat them with my own. And if no bugger wants to listen to what you've got to say, you might as well keep your gob shut. But Clive, I will say this. You're not a monster. You're the same man you've always been. Accept that, and you may yet escape your fate.
My fate?
Look, lad, you've had a hard life. And I don't see it getting much easier. You might not be able to save anyone else, but at the very least, you can save yourself.
I'll try.
And Jill, I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk, but I trust you'll take good care of the boy.
Yes, I will.
Is that the last of it?
Aye.
We best head back then. Wouldn't want to keep Nan waiting. Ta-ra then.
Alright, so we get introduced to the bearer's curse and the degradation of their condition, only to then see what happens with Sid's arm immediately after, and he's not trying to exert himself as much, using his little fire crystal instead. So we can make for Eastpool, or we've got some side quests to do, and considering we're in a little bit of the downtime after an extremely exciting last episode, we may as well do these side quests while we're here.
I have to find him before the Imperials do.
Brennan.
Can't talk now, Oh, you're Clive, aren't you? Martha told me all about you. Word is you're a devil with that blade.
You look like you're in a hurry. Where are you going?
Not far, I hope. But I dare not waste a moment. It might cost a man his life.
Sounds serious. What happened?
It's not so much what happened as what might. They've discovered he's a bearer, see? And now, one of his erstwhile friends and neighbors wants to see him clapped in chains.
Where is this bearer?
He wasn't fool enough to wait for the Imperials to arrive. Poor sod took to the road, left his whole life behind. But they'll be after him before long. I need to find him and get him to safety, fast. Here, if you've the time and the inclination, I could do with a hand. Will you help me find him?
Of course. We bearers have to look out for each other.
Thank you, Clive. With your help, we might catch up with him yet. His name's Norris. We need to find him and get him to Martha before the Imperials sniff him out.
You found him yet? You won't catch a bastard standing around clucking like old hens. That fucking snake played me false, acted like he was one of us, and the whole time he was one of them. We need him caught and handed over to the Imperials. Hanging's too good for him. Well, go on then. If he gets away, I'll see you fitted for a noose.
All right, Ronald. We were just leaving. Look, this one's here to help. I was just filling him in.
Ha! Send a bearer to catch a bearer, is it? Not bloody likely. That's it. I'll find the bastard myself.
Come on now, Ron. It's dangerous out there. We wouldn't want you to come to any harm.
You want something done right, you don't send a bearer.
Clive, this might take a while. You start hunting our man, and I'll be along once I put Ronald's mind at ease. Someone said they saw Norris heading for the Fallen Gate. Maybe you could ask if anyone over that way knows anything. We have to find him. Don't let him slip through our grasp.
Man, the way that the bearers are spoken about is just disgusting.
Norris before Ronald takes matters into his own hands. Bearers are hardly difficult to spot. What did he mean about being played false, I wonder?
He's wearing a skin suit. Hello, Clark.
Here, you're that bearer who works for Martha, aren't you? Can you give me a hand? Curse my luck, I dropped my crystal off a cliff into the bloody swamp like an utter fool. Now, I've not got your knack, see, and I need that shard to chill my fish if I'm to take him to market. It's just a short climb down, I'll make it worth your while.
I can't promise anything.
Well, just promise you'll look. Ah, there may be one thing I failed to mention about the crystal. A creature might have already claimed it.
Claimed it?
All right, eaten it, but only might have, you understand. There were a lot of bog crabs down there. Nasty buggers, them.
Sounds like I need to break a few shells.
Oh, don't worry, there weren't too many of them. A veritable walk in the marsh, as they say, the ladders, right over there.
That's funny. They're just like, you've accepted the quest, so I might let you know now.
Seen you been running errands for Martha. You can do a lot worse than serving her, that's for certain. Most folk round here would agree.
That's cool. That dude was being like shitty at me when I would walk past him before, and now he's like not as shitty.
Watch yourself down in that bog. The mud'll take you for creepy crawlies, don't.
Look at his nice hat. He got his safety straps on his little helmet. He does. Let's kill some bog crabs.
Never heard of crabs eating crystal. Should be interesting.
You just got bogs crabbed. Foul crystal.
No point spending any more time down here than I have to.
Let's take a look in our items. A thin membrane of fetid muck covers this crystal, which, still in its holder, otherwise appears undamaged. Using a crystal as a lighter is so funny. I swear, yeah, I'm pretty damn certain Sid was using his own little, like, magic to light it before. Unless I'm just imagining things now. Because now I'm questioning myself. I'm pretty sure he used, like... Well, I've seen someone else use Firefinger. But I'm pretty sure he has used his own magic before.
Well, any luck?
Yours, I presume.
Here's your city crystal. Oh yeah, I can just read the description when I hand it to him.
You found it! Oh, thank you! Any longer out in the sun and my catch would have made for poor eating indeed.
Be more careful next time.
Oh, I will, I promise. No point casting my nets of a morning if I'm without a crystal to see the catch to town. There was a time honest tax-paying folk could get new ones whenever they wanted. Can't now, though, not for love nor money. Crystals are scarce, and the Empire tightens its purse strings more every day. Lose this little beauty again, and I might as well scrap my nets and take to begging.
We're getting good money this way, though, at the very least. Not a lot in terms of experience or excitement, but we get paid, we get some good items from it. So it makes it worthwhile. Alright, so looking for people that blend in. Off-duty sell sword. Are we just having a look around people, or oh, we're inquiring? We're not looking right now. Okay.
You don't know a man called Norris, do you?
I do, as it happens. He ran off that way not too long back. Looked like he was in a right hurry. And he had a lantern with him for some reason. Never known him to stay out after dark.
He was making for the marshes then. All right. Thank you.
Search for Norris.
You barely have to step out.
That's one of our branded.
Like that Imperial that says, that's one of our branded, and he says that like, he said that every single time I've ran past him. He's got a short-term memory, that Imperial soldier. He's like, hey, that's one of our branded. Should we bring him in? Hey, mate, you've already asked that 5 times, in fact, and I keep saying no. So items in the world refresh, but the enemies do not, it seems. So I can run back through these areas to collect items. I would assume the enemies would refresh if you leave the area and then come back. Oh, it's the lantern. Ready? We're about to use Torgal to sniff for clues.
The one Norris was carrying, no doubt.
Smell and follow the trail, boy.
At least I know which way he went.
Never mind. Imagine using your dog to do dog things. He was a hunting dog. He was literally used with Sid as a hunting dog. We could literally have him follow the scent. Hey boy, smell the lantern. Follow the scent. Its body is dirty and dented, but its wick is still warm. All signs suggest that it was dropped by someone who either did not notice its absence or was in such a hurry that they had not the time to return it.
Someone made short work of them. I wonder if that someone was Norris.
We didn't see any of these. We don't have any of the hound type enemies out here. Oh, hello. I believe we found our Norris. There's a bearer, but he's not branded.
Norris, I presume.
Leave me be.
You were never branded. So that's how you stayed hidden.
Ronald sent you after me, did he? Set an Imperial dog on his best friend. And when we were so close. I'll never forget the hatred in his eyes. But it doesn't matter now. I will not become a slave. As one bearer to another, please. Don't do this. You know how they treat our kind.
Ronald didn't send me. One of Martha's men did. He wanted to make sure you were safe.
I don't understand.
Martha takes in bearers. She's a friend. You can trust her. Believe me.
I never knew. I can't say I'm surprised, though. She has a kind heart. Kinder than most.
Just wait here and stay out of sight. You'll be among friends soon enough.
Thank you. There's few would have been so kind. And... sorry. You're no Imperial dog. Far from it.
I've been called worse. Oh. I found a lantern back there. I assume it's yours.
Thanks. I dropped it when those creatures attacked me. But... if I'm honest, I wasn't all that sorry to be rid of it. Ron gave it to me.
All right. I'll keep hold of it. I might be able to use it to put an end to the Imperial search before it begins.
Okay.
A bearer without a brand. To have lived free for so many years. Only to be betrayed by a friend.
They were like, fellas, found this lamp with a bunch of, dogs. He's been eaten, I'm afraid. Only found this leather boot behind him. He's gone, I'm afraid. That's how we'll use it to cover it. And this was his most special, important lamp, it was. Do you see how I gave a wide berth to those Imperial soldiers so they wouldn't repeat that dialogue? Stop it! Stop repeating the dialogue! God damn it. Say something else. Nobody in this world has anything else to talk about. Oh, at least the Eastpool NPCs have moved on. There we go. I don't have to hear him say that anymore.
I'll be fucked if I'm leaving this to a bearer. I'll go myself.
God, Ronald's still here. Alright, we'll give him the lantern, say, hey mate, he's been eaten.
There you are, Clive. How goes the search?
Well branded. Have you found the bastard yet?
Only what was left of him. A corpse, torn apart by monsters. And this.
Let me see that. No. It can't be.
Shall we consider that the end of the matter, then? Or do you need to see a body?
No. I mean... I've no use for bearer bones. He's dead. Let that be an end to it. Only wish those whose job it was had done what they were supposed to do and spotted him sooner. Letting a bearer go about without a brand? It's not right, I tell you. Who'll want anything to do with me now, eh? There goes the bearer lover, they'll say. I'll be a laughing stock.
Is it true, Clive? Is Norris really...
He's alive. You'll find him in a hut in the marshes. He's expecting you.
Oh, you crafty. Still, you did the right thing. Thank you. It's not much considering, but please, take this.
The 100 ability points is definitely a decent one as well. That's actually quite nice. Considering. Ooh, yeah, I forgot. We've got a bunch of this stuff. I might go back to... We'll probably go back to Tomes before we head to Eastpool. Because there'll be a bunch of cutscenes that we've just witnessed, some new dialogue and lore for. I might master some abilities here. Because we got 726, so I might actually make one of these bad boys stronger. So, details. Oh, hang on. If you master them, it allows assignment to any icon. Oh, wow. Okay. Weird. Huh. So you can embody the Phoenix, but use, like, Garuda's abilities, or vice versa. and I assume with other icons at some point as well. Will they have a different like visual effect to them? I love that the first two icons that we have though are both like bird related. It's kind of funny. So they'd actually go together quite well. Let's try this then. We've got, which one have we got? We've got Scarlet Cyclone that we, and, oh no, we're using Heatwave, aren't we? Let's upgrade Heatwave. Oh, hang on. It's upgraded and then it's Mastery. Shit, there's multiple levels to these. I should have read that first, but I just assumed that it would go straight to Master because the other abilities did. So it increases the shockwaves, and now when you master it, you can assign it to any icon. Interesting. I'll be super curious to see what that would look like. Whether it's just exactly the same sort of attack, or whether it has like a wind or a flame sort of variant to it, which would be pretty cool. Let's head back to the hideaway real quick. We will have a chat with Tomes. I guess we'll see if Sid and Goots are here. But I doubt it.
I knew so little about the world, and I'm not sure I know much more now. But I'm going to change that.
Sid's gone off again. To Rosaria this time to pick up some supplies.
He's on his way back, he is, don't worry.
Young had so many uses.
So this studious bearer, he still has his food that I gave him 5,000 years ago, and he's still on the fucking poop chapter. My god, he's stuck in time, this one.
Have you come for a tale?
Yes, please. I'll tell you about my adventures. Harpocrates updates the tomes. Right, let's take a look.
Study the tomes?
Yes. Alright, updates. Kenneth, chief cook at Sid's Hideaway. Though the range and quantity of ingredients on offer in their hidden Deadland home is limited at best, Kenneth finds opportunity in adversity, concocting toothsome fare from whatever happens to be at hand. Landlady of the Golden Stables, the tavern at the heart of Martha's Rest. She is also a friend of Sid's cause, keeping the hideaway supplied with both victuals and information on developments in Western Storm, a second string to her business that she strives to keep secret from the Imperial authorities. And Bernard is a carpenter who resides at Martha's Rest, whose speed and skill, together with the surrounding marsh water's deleterious effects on the planks and piles of the village's many bridges, keep his services in high demand. Okay, lay of the land. Phoenix Gate. The remains of the fortress destroyed in the year 860 on what came to be known as the Night of Flames, the castle's invasion by Sanbrequois saboteurs, and the battle between the two icons of fire that arose in its wake. The earth is still riddled with fissures and tears, testament to the ferocity of the fight that unfolded here. The gate itself was buried beneath piles of soot-stained rubble, and with it Rosaria's pride, falling as the duchy did to the Empire not long afterward. I wonder if we're going to see, or not if, but when we're going to see Clive's mother again? Like, it should be around, right? For sure. She wouldn't just do what she did and then never appear again. I will be quite interested to see when she'll next show up. A small settlement huddled atop a rocky tor overlooking the swampy lowlands of southeastern Rosaria. Sellswords gather in its barracks, hawkers in its streets, while those short on work can be heard singing over flagons of ale from morning until night in the village's eponymous tavern. While the former duchy may want for cheer, since being annexed by the Empire, the rest is a rare spot of sunshine among the gloom, and most travelers make a point of stopping over when they're passing through. The territorialization of Rosaria. In the year 861, taking advantage of the discord arising from Rosaria's internal woes in the wake of the Night of Flames, the Ironblood launched an attack that inflicted devastating losses on an already crippled nation, robbing it of what little power remained. Later that same year, Sanbrique stepped in and forced the once proud duchy to submit to one final humiliation by becoming a vassal state of the Empire, just as Duchess Annabella and her imperial conspirators had planned. Oh, well, Annabella's probably at Rosaria, because if it's a vassal state for the Empire, she probably has a fancy seat there. Might even have a fancy new husband. Which means if she, you know, the one responsible for being the Phoenix breeding machine, she may be trying, well, maybe not trying, but maybe the Empire would try to get another Phoenix, another icon and dominant on their side. I could see that happening. Depends if she wants to do that, I suppose. Or if she's got a choice in the matter. A clutch of humble stone buildings perched above Sorrowwise Bay in the imperial province of Rosaria's southeastern lowlands. The abbey was built in order to propagate the Gregorian faith after the Duchy of Rosaria was made part of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque, and as such is one of the rare examples of imperial architecture in the region. And the Three Reeds is an area of marshland in the eastern part of the imperial province of Rosaria, just south of Martha's Rest. Numerous shacks and hovels dotted about the swamps suggest that the area was once at least sparsely populated. However, now most lie broken and abandoned, their owners having fled for more habitable climes once the waters began to rise. A nation occupying the northeastern reaches of the continent of Storm, with the great city of Oriflamme as its capital, political power in the Empire technically resides with the Five Cardinals, but even they are bound to the whims of the Holy Emperor in those manners of state in which he takes interest. I want to see the Emperor. In the year 860, at Emperor Sylvester's behest, the Cardinals agreed upon a plan to liberate Rosaria from the marauding forces of the Iron Kingdom, after which the duchy had little choice but to bend the knee and become an imperial province. Emperor Sylvester. What a name. I wish to see what he looks like. They've got the Iron Crusade and the Boiling Crusade, a surprise attack launched by the Iron Kingdom on the Duchy of Rosaria in the year 860. Rosaria was critically weakened at the time, having lost Archduke Elwin Rosfield and been plunged into chaos in the aftermath of the attack on Phoenix Gate. The Iron Blood unleashed a wave of murderous destruction on the Rosarians and returned home with human spoils in the form of countless young women and children, Jill Warwick among them. Mysteries of the Realm. The Crystal's Curse. The price bearers and dominants pay for channeling aether through their bodies. The gradual petrification of their flesh. So that is what is happening to Sid right now. It does not affect those who use a crystal to cast magics. So there you go. That's why Sid's using the crystal. Beginning with a stiffness and ache in the extremities as the curse progresses, limbs are rendered immobile and the pain unbearable. At last, the victim turns completely to stone and their body crumbles into dust. There is no known cure. Let's just travel to another Final Fantasy universe where they've got the Asuna spell or soft items, guys. Well, we know that Sid is on a time limit, unfortunately. Okay, let's have a look. It's just added. Whenever I see a update to a lore tab like this, I always just check for the new text instead of reading the whole thing all over again. There is only ever one dominant for each icon, a new dominant only awakening after the previous dies. Some awaken at birth, while others are chosen later in life, but once one is chosen, one's life changes forever. Branded with a mark on their cheek that leads some to call them by the pejorative moniker branded. Though their powers do not begin to approach those of the almighty dominants, they too suffer from the crystal's curse, gradually turning to stone over a lifetime of channeling aether for others. To stymie the urge to flee, the penalty for desertion is death, and soldiers are encouraged to keep a close watch on each other to prevent others from doing so, the brand upon a soldier's cheek presenting an additional obstacle. And so most follow their orders, turning steadily to stone with each draw on the aether to lose one's life to the curse or being lauded as a hero's death. I think what's pretty crazy is we got like these characters, like these fellas, in the little Black Ops squad, and they were just there for like no time at all, and then they were just all killed off so easily. It's crazy how important I felt like they were actually going to be in the introduction, which is pretty funny. And the bestiary. Who we got in here? We got all of the new enemies that we've been fighting out there in the wilds. Megalocrabs, making a habitat of water. Oh my god, look at its mouth. Making a habitat of waters both fresh and brackish, these goodly crustaceans spend most of their time buried in the mud where they warm their sanguine humours as they wait for a potential meal to wander by. Since the time of the founder, the peoples of Rosaria have hunted megalocrab for its sweet, succulent flesh and creamy tomali, the species having long been amongst the small folk as fire crab, for the bright red colour and phoenix-like patterns which emerge on the shells after boiling. Corray claws, found mostly in and around the lakes and rivers of Sanbrique and Rosaria, these deadly predators are equipped with scissor-like pincers with which to dismember and eviscerate their prey. If that were not enough, the creatures take in water from their habitat to create highly corrosive juices in their bellies, which they then spit out onto their victim's flesh to soften it, making it easier to consume. Antelopes are large, herbivorous creatures found mainly on Storm. It has distinctive elaborate antlers and long sinuous limbs, which it uses to leap gracefully into the air. It attacks mainly with its antlers and rear legs, but many hunters are prepared to face such dangers nonetheless in order to acquire the lustrous, supple pelts for which these noble beasts are famed. So it's kind of funny when there's just like creatures in the world that just have like very earthly names to them. Like, yeah, we've got moorballs and megalocrabs and vampire thorns. We got antelopes. Bighorns, found to graze primarily in the emerald meadows of Rosaria or the windswept savannas of Dalmatia, bighorns are easily recognized by the eponymous growths, the length of which can oft exceed several score hands, and that just sideways from their crowns. These horns, as well as their hard-wearing hides, are prized throughout Ballastea and can be bought and sold at marketplaces all over the realm. Caution, however, is recommended when hunting the creatures, as they are highly territorial and will charge relentlessly at anything that might stray into their line of sight. And adamantoises, enormous creatures with nigh impermeable and oddly fertile shells that play host to divers' flora and that provide the painfully conspicuous reptiles with much-needed camouflage in the bogs and fens they call their homes. At a glance, these lumbering giants may not appear much of a threat, but at the first sign of danger, they will retract their heads and limbs and whip themselves into frenetic spins that have been known to flatten entire homes. Cool. I wonder if there's any grand adamantoids.
Shall ever be open.
Yeah, you keep talking about that done, fella.
Teams to follow every lead.
Let's move on.
I hear the levies are due to go up again.
The slumbering chocobo. Welcome to the Brotherhood. You're free to come and go as you please, even to the north, now the bridge is fixed.
Got me slumbering chocobo seal, I do. Green sheaves. Wow, that looks gorgeous.
Don't you worry about them boards. I use good solid lumber. It's the base on the other side you want to be careful of.
Ooh, I'm seeing something cool over there. Look at that. Look at that. I think that might be a wyvern, but it's got a big-ass tail, too. It's cool to be able to get that sense of wonder. You see, like, some cool beast over there moving at 15 frames a second. You're like, I'm gonna go kill it.
At the blight, it's spread even further south, pushing yet more monsters down with it. I dare say we'll be seeing a few along the way.
Then we shall have to keep our wits about us.
It's got a little bit of beach action happening here.
That's enough.
Another adamantoise? Will we get adamantite though? I wonder that has got to be a crafting material. Has to be.
Not this time.
get away. Too slow.
Damn it! You were supposed to stay staggered for longer.
Not this time. Give them all you've got, boy.
Oh, that was close. Something else has joined the fight. God damn it. Can't you see I'm busy?
Keep your distance, boy.
Yes. They'd love to give us black blood, but no adamantite. Maybe they save those for a giant variant of them instead.
Very well.
Give them all you've got.
Now let's check out this side quest then, shall we? See if I can make my way past these enemies without having to get into combat with them. Never mind. A bit harder when they're flying.
Don't let them get away. Keep your distance. Don't let them get away. Stay down.
Oh god, just going from one battle to the next. Battle ends and I'm right back into it again.
Keep your distance, boy. It's over.
What's going on here then? Got some bandits.
Nice boots you've got there.
Gouge plus 60. Oh, it just lit his ass on fire. Nice.
You there! Over here!
Hello, Frederick.
Excuse me, I'll use that blade of yours. Ugh, curse my luck. I'm branded. No time to haggle with whoever holds your leash. Wait. That's the slumbering chocobo you're wearing. You in the marshes, are you? Good. She won't begrudge me the use of you then. Well, there's wolves about. We tried dealing with them ourselves.
Laid out bait, think we might swoop in and slaughter the lot. But we didn't expect the pack to be quite so bloody big.
I expect the blight drove them here. They must have fled their homes for greener pastures.
We'd hoped empty bellies might make them easy prey. We've made them mean instead. Martha's no fool, so she must see something in you. Do us a favor and get rid of them, will you?
All right. I suppose those wolves pose a threat to everyone.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I'd wager the greedy bastards are still over yonder, finishing off our bait. When you've seen to every last one of them, go and speak to my friend over the bridge. Bryce, his name is. They want to know if it's safe to come across. All right, off you go then.
All of the normal, like, human names that just have fantasy spelling.
Bryce has been stuck on the far side of that bridge for bloody 8.
Bryce with an I instead of a Y.
No once it's safe to cross.
Alright, let's slay some beastie boys, shall we?
Look hungry, all right. Hungry and mean.
That's just how I like to attack my enemies, just around them, but not directly on them.
Give them all you've got.
I'm going to find this Bryce and let him know the road's safe.
Wonder how long that bait will last.
Are you Bryce?
What's it to you, bearer?
Your friend asked me to get rid of the wolves, so I got rid of the wolves.
You'd have me believe a single bearer slew the entire pack. Then again, if you didn't, you wouldn't be on this side of the bridge. Bugger me, you're a tough one, aren't you?
Oh, Frederick!
You wily bastard. I'd never thought to pit beast against beast like that.
You served us well, bearer. Be sure to pass our thanks to your master.
He's like, you couldn't have done that. Oh, wait a minute, you're here. Maybe you have done that. Clive really has the patience of a saint, let me tell you. He's just like, he really just be taking it all on the chin. He's like, I won't say anything that's going to get me in trouble. Ah, we've got a Minotaur. Let's go, lad.
Not this time. Don't let them get away. Give them all you've got, boy.
This combat system is just fucking insane. Oh my god. It's just, what the fuck, dude? The amount of just things that you can have going on at once just makes me so happy. I don't think I got any rare items from that one, from that Minotaur. That's disappointing. Oh, there's another one. That's fine. We have another chance.
It's over. Don't let them get away. Not this time. Give them all you've got, boy. Don't let them get away. Give them all you've got, boy. Keep your distance, boy. There, boy. Too slow. Not this time. Give all you've got, boy.
Yes, 2 Minotaur mains. There you go. He gave me one to make up for the one that didn't give me one. Nice. They're fun to fight. How do I get to you? Oh. You're over there. I was missing one. Let's go to them.
Bryce, my friend. I was worried the wolves might have got you.
They just might have, were it not for your quick thinking. You saved the town.
Oh, there's a chronolith is detected nearby. I totally missed this running straight for the side quest. A chronolith.
It's the same as the one back at the hideaway. Doesn't seem to be working, though.
Okay. I guess we'll put a pin in that. We don't know what it means yet, but we'll have to find out. A wyver? We got a wyvern variant.
Don't let them get away.
So sick. God damn. There's something about this battle theme that whenever I'm just walking along and entering in battle with an enemy, it takes me right back to Final Fantasy VIII for some reason. Specifically, there's just something about the way that the music starts. It's so similar to Final Fantasy VIII's battle theme, and most Final Fantasy battle themes are similar, but there's just something that's got a lot of that DNA in it for me. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Chill out. Just started taking immense damage all of a sudden. That's okay. Chill out.
Give them all you've got there.
And I don't know, just seeing enemies like this, it takes me back to just being a kid again, playing Final Fantasy. And I'm feeling that so much more in this game than I have in recent Final Fantasies.
Don't let them get away.
Nice. Blood Hawk Jess. Bloodhawks prey on other birds, swooping in on them from above and using both beak and talon to administer multiple deep lacerations that result in heavy blood loss and eventually send the target plummeting to the ground where the hawk can collect the corpse for its brood. 8% eerily combat damage. Nice. That'll be a new entry for the bestiary. Where haven't we been? Off in this little housing area off to the side here. I hear mice, I do. Goblin coin, but no goblins.
Look, the windmills. That must be Eastpool.
Eastpool windmills.
I remember coming here with Lord Murdoch when I was young. Rosaria seemed a very different place back then.
Love that the scarecrows are just like old school black mages. That's incredible. It's a bit steep, isn't it? I want to learn about what that spire is all about.
Quiet, isn't it?
Yes.
You're Clive Rossfield. It's me, Hannah, Rodney Murdoch's wife.
Lady Hannah.
Oh, I knew it was you. You haven't changed at all. The Lord Marquis and Jill too. It's so good to see you both again.
It's good to see you too, Lady Hannah.
If you have time, you simply must come back to the house. I haven't much to offer, but what is mine is yours.
We should be delighted.
It's wholesome, like the respect that they still have after all these years.
And you have been wandering the world ever since. I can well understand fleeing from those iron blood brutes, but oh, to take to the road at such a tender age.
God, it just took you that long to notice?
It wasn't easy, but we survived, and
And now we're back. It's wonderful to see you safe and well, Lady Hannah. Do you think you will stay here, in Eastpool? Rosalith still enjoys the Mother Crystal's blessing, does it not? You could always move.
This house holds a lot of memories for me. So long as I can live here in peace, here I shall stay. Not that it matters. The capital is closed to civilians, by order of the Duchess. Or should I say, Her Imperial Majesty. Annabella's marriage to the Emperor of Sambrec heralded a great many changes here.
yes, of course.
Yo, she married Annabelle Lesage. Former Duchess of Rosaria is now the Empress of the Holy Empire of Sambrec. It was ever her purpose in life to preserve her phoenix-bearing bloodline, for which the reason she betrayed her husband, that she might enter in league with a force she judged the mightier. Now she rules over Rosaria as vicereine of the imperial province, which she rules with a cruelty and contempt for the base-born that was unknown in Archduke Elwin's day. So I was like, it's funny that I was like, oh, you know, maybe she's like lording over this place, but she could be in a pretty shitty situation still. Who knows? We'll have to find out. No, she's the Empress. Yeah, she's just the Empress. That's fine. That's a great little antagonist for Clive there, isn't it? Wife of Rodney Murdoch, Lord Commander of the Rosarian Army. Since her marriage, she has resided in the Murdoch Manor in Eastpool. A hamlet which is located in the eastern part of the imperial province of Rosaria. It was once surrounded by fertile farmland, but the southward creep of the blight eventually drove out most of the inhabitants. Rosalith Castle is situated in the heart of the ducal capital of Rosalith. It was from this towering ivory fortress that the Archduke and his family once ruled their proud nation. A well-armed Sambrequois garrison has been stationed here since 860, when the duchy was annexed by the Empire following the tragedy at Phoenix Gate and the subsequent invasion by the Iron Crusade. Mother has become the Empress, okay.
Oh, forgive me. I didn't mean to...
Please. There is nothing to forgive. Would my mother not make an exception for you and your husband? Surely she would not refuse the Lord Commander.
You haven't heard, then?
Come on, man.
Rodney passed away on the night of the fire. He never returned from Phoenix Gate.
You burnt him alive, dude.
I'm sorry.
Clive.
My poor child. You look pale. All this traveling must have taken its toll. I insist you rest. We can talk later. Hmm?
Yep, burned that boy alive, unfortunately. I was looking forward to all of those characters for this game, and they all died in the beginning.
Are you sure you don't want to sleep inside?
I can't. Not after what I did.
Lady Hannah said she would prepare a change of clothes for you in the morning. She really has been very kind.
Years of killing. 13 years without the faintest glimmer of hope. It was only Joshua that kept me going. I swore that I would avenge his death. That I would kill his killer. That was the only thing that gave my life any meaning. But if it was me who killed Joshua and Murdoch and all the others, then why the hell am I still breathing?
I ask myself the same. When I fought, hundreds died. There were so many bodies, so many lives cut short in their prime. That day in Dalmekia, I wanted to join them. I wanted it all to end. I couldn't bear it anymore. If living meant being that, better to be just another body.
I'm sorry.
Do you remember that night on the balcony, when we looked up at the moon? I said a prayer to Metia, and that prayer was answered. You came back to me. The heavens must have a plan for us.
She leaning in a little bit too close there, Clive. Clive's... she was waiting. She was puckered up, Clive.
Get some rest.
Clive totally didn't even... Oh, man. I was gonna... Oh, my God. Because I was going to be like, oh, man. At first, I was like, why the hell does Jill have to sleep outside if he's the one that refuses the bedroom? It's like, we'll both sleep outside. But no, it makes sense. Because Jill... Because Jill's like, I'm into you, man. She's straight up just like, we've been brought back together again. And Clive's just like, I killed everyone that I loved. Oops. I like that they did a callback to praying to the burning red star that sits beneath the moon. The prayer has been answered. I can't wait to get more information on this, because there's no way that this is just casually chilling there if we're not going to get some cool stuff with that later. But, yeah, good night. Oh, man. Clive's voice acting is incredible. His emotional state and turmoil is really well handled. And I think his character development and his story is really compelling.
Thank you, Lady Hannah. Perhaps now people will not flee at the sight of me.
Oh.
You look just like Elwyn did when he was your age.
How did you come to have some of my father's old clothes?
Wow.
Oh, before Elwyn became Archduke, our families would often summer together. He and Rodney were like brothers.
These clothes have been in a wardrobe for years, collecting cobwebs along with everything else.
Well, I'm very grateful for them. And sorry for depriving you of your memories.
Not at all. It's what your father would have wanted.
They suit you well. Thank you, Lady Hannah.
Yes, thank you. You've been most kind.
No, I should thank you. It may only have been for a short while, but seeing you again took me back to happier times. Fare you well, my lord and lady.
And you, Lady Hannah.
Wow, we got some cool stuff.
North. You should take us all the way to Phoenix Gate. Let's go.
Damn, that armor looks fucking sick. Full like change as well. Even the sword. That's great. And I don't know why I didn't expect this already, because it's literally, this is like his cover art armor, but I don't know, for some reason I was just assumed that we were going to be stuck in his Imperial gear for the whole game, and it was just like, you know, artistic an artistic freedom on the front cover. But no, that's as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh duh. I'm admiring it though, it looks great. At first I thought the belt on his right leg was like a piece of like skin, like he had like a little opening on the pants. I'm like, why? But no, it's a little leather belt. Hell yeah, and that sword looks great too. Let's take a look at this gear. Invictus. But why have I bothered using any gear before this, huh? One of a set of 7 swords said to have been forged in the flames of Mount Destranus, Invictus has been passed down through generations for use by the Archduke's family and his closest shields. Archduke Elwyn presented Invictus to Rodney Murdoch on the day he was promoted to Lord Commander of the Ducal Army. Yeah, I think Jonathan had one of these swords. Metia is sometimes called the Custrel, as legend has it that the bright red star serves as the moon's attendant, carrying her gear and equipping her armor in times of battle. This belt was part of a set owned by Archduke Elwyn and kept in Eastpool for when he and his family would summer there. And in a long-standing Rosarian tradition for the Archduke to bestow a gift to scions of the ducal line upon their coming of age, these braces, dyed in the red of the star Metia, were what Elwyn's father chose for him, and formed part of a set of clothes kept in Eastpool for when he and his family would summer there. So, a little bit of the same stuff there. Cool. He's moving up in the world, almost a fine hound. Okay, so we're currently in Eastpool, and we make for the Phoenix Gate. That's awesome. And that is going to be where we bring this episode of Final Fantasy XVI to a close. We've got a fancy new gear. We had a chat with Hannah, and it didn't go poorly, which was nice. Jill was puckered up for a kiss that never came, but we'll see if he clues on at some point. We'll see. Tremendously fun episode, though, checking out some new locations. It was a bit of a lull from last episode's excitement, but I'm looking forward to how Phoenix Gate's going to go now that we've had a bit of a nostalgia, sentimental tea with Lady Hannah here, and then we've got fresh new kicks to go and kill some monsters in. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Final Fantasy XVI. I'll see you next time.